I call this art lesson Impressions of Lupin. Lupin is a tall, slender flower. It comes in purples, blues, greens, yellows, really almost any color. Here are two samples. Notice how it's tall and slender, pink, purple on this side. Here's one made by a younger student that shows pink and blues. And if you'd like to add ladybugs at the end, you can. A great story to go with this lesson is Miss Rumphius. In the story, she's called the Lupin Lady because she goes around the countryside planting wildflowers. I like to use a piece of paper that's about 7 inches by 12 because it's tall and thin like the flowers themselves. First step, just use the side of a piece of yellow chalk, gently cover the page, and rub the chalk in with cotton balls. Really go lightly on the chalk, even if there's a few white spots, that's okay. You don't want it to be super bright yellow. Next, with a medium-sized brush, dip in green for the stems. Notice how the stems do show through a little bit, but once you get all of your petals on, sometimes it doesn't show at all. Start about 2 inches from the top and curve down towards the center. And another one. It could be the same height. One can be a little taller than the other. And then, for fun, add a few leaves at the bottom. Your leaves can be ovals or circles, or you can spend more time with more detail, depending on the age. I think I'll just put 3 leaves. Mine are shaped like ovals with a little bit of a point on the end. Let that dry for just a moment. And then you're going to use pink and white for your first flower. All these paints are washables. This is really fun because you get to use your finger. You dip your fingertip first in the pink, then in the white, and then you touch your page. And it'll leave a blossom of both colors. Watch this. Pink, white, touch the page. Pink and white, touch the page. Pink and white, touch the page. You can touch about twice. You can make 2 blossoms and then go back in and dip again. If you try and make 10 with just dipping once, the paint runs out on your finger, and then you end up with really low quality petals, let's call them. So you want to be generous with dipping in the paint and touching the page. Dip into the pink and then into the white, and then touch your page. You're making a tall, skinny flower. You can overlap a little bit, or you can separate them. Every student will do theirs differently, and whatever they come up with is fine. I like this because there's a lot of freedom and it's fun to touch the paint. I like to give students a little paper plate so they can set it close to their project so that they don't drag the paint across and get it on the side of their flower, so it's just right there on their flower. I think I want to make mine just a little wider at the bottom. Oh, and notice that I'm using my pointer finger and just the very end of my finger. Some kids might put their whole finger down and then they'll have bigger blossoms. That's fine. Little kindergartners will have tiny little blossoms. That's just more part of the variety. Wipe your finger off, so have some wipes around, and then switch colors to your next flower. You could have purple and white, you could have blue and white, you could have orange, yellow, and pink, whatever you want. And this is washable paint. Purple, white, touch the page. Not getting much white. The green stem just needs to dry for 2 or 3 minutes. Then you can put your flowers right over it. I like to try and make some tiny ones up at the top, and then maybe some larger ones as we go down. So purple, white, touch the page. I'm running out of white. I like to add just a little bit more. I usually put 2 petals next to each other on the little styrofoam plates. Looks like these 2 flowers are going to kind of overlap, so I'm just going to let that purple go right over top of the pink, and maybe it'll show through a little, or maybe it won't. If you have time, you can let your students make 2. First one could be pink and purple. Second one, they could have an orange, yellow and red flower. Mix it up a little. And there you have impressions of Lupin. Thank you.